The Biden administration's commitment to welcome up to 100,000 Ukrainian refugees has a lot of people, eager to cross the border from their war-torn country. But a Brooklyn resident who tried to bring a friend here last month has been struggling to get her out of federal custody. She's sharing her story tonight with CBS 2's Jenna DeAngelis.
It's been a pretty horrific experience.
For 2 weeks, 29-year-old Molly Sorosky has been desperately trying to reunite with her family friend, Yelizavieta Krasulia, who she calls Lisa.
It was at the border on March 30th that Lisa got detained.
It started when Molly and her mother, U.S. citizens, went to Poland to visit her aunt who fled Ukraine.
We very quickly realized there's no open pathway to the U.S. because my aunt doesn't have a valid passport, as you know, many refugees fleeing a war-torn country might not have.
While in Poland, they connected with her mom's close friend, Natalie, who also escaped the war-torn country with Lisa, her 17-year-old daughter.
Natalie asks us if we would be willing to take her daughter to the U.S. In exchange, she'll help take care of my aunt in Poland.
At the advice of an attorney, she gave Molly this notarized letter granting permission to care for Lisa. They left Poland and traveled through Mexico to the U.S. border. Molly says Customs and Border Protection agents did not accept the letter. Instead, Lisa was detained, later calling her in tears.
She's explaining that she's being held like a prisoner as opposed to a refugee of war.
A few days later, Lisa was transported to a facility for unaccompanied children in New York City. But Molly says she can't visit and waits for arranged phone calls.
I made a promise to her mother that I would take care of her daughter, so I feel responsible for this child.
Molly is hoping to be reunited with her friend soon. In the meantime, continuing to bring attention to the roadblocks these war refugees are running into.
Our immigration system is not designed to respond to emergencies like this one.
Stephanie Cordero with Brooklyn Legal Services says while the Biden administration announced welcoming Ukrainian refugees, plans are unclear.
The infrastructure has also not been put in place to process all the people that it needs to process now. And the cap hasn't been increased significantly and the processing has not been sped up.
As for Lisa, or any unaccompanied minor, Cordero says it's standard protocol that without a parent, she'd be placed in a facility while determining next steps. We reached out to U.S. Customs and Border Protection and were directed to the Department of Health and Human Services Office of Refugee Resettlement. A spokesperson says it does not make immigration determinations and is legally required to provide for the care of all unaccompanied children referred to ORR until they are appropriately and safely released to a vetted sponsor. While Molly waits, she's hoping the government acts on its pledge to help.
They say we stand with Ukraine. Back what you say with action.
Jenna DeAngelis, CBS 2 News.